Good morning, and welcome to Sunday Soul Talks, where I this Lori character shares what she's come to understand about life. Not saying that she knows all. Absolutely not saying that. But she does see what causes suffering in human beings, in the idea of you being a human being. In this dream of separation that never happened. The wholeness that you are doesn't need anything. You know how they have his needs, her needs. That was a book recommended to me by my doctor when I lost the baby between Travis and Taylor because I was devastated. So much so. Oh, I don't think I've ever talked about this. Hmm. First of all, I want to say how powerful our minds are. Our minds create all of this seeming reality. So, I got pregnant in between after Travis. It was spaced so the kids would be 3 years apart. Perfection in Laurie's world. Because she was not going to have another kid till Travis turned 2. It was like, never am I having another kid. But secretly, I knew I was going to. Because I wanted to have that little girl. That didn't happen. But Lori thought that would be perfect to have the boy and then the girl. But the boy was not a happy baby. And it was fight, fight, fight between the two of us. Hello, whoever is here. Um, so that it was finding out of the pregnancy in October, I think. October. And just before Christmas, there was bleeding. What didn't happen with Travis. I was like, what the hell? So called the doctor, went and had a sonogram. The baby had died. But it had died at 8 weeks, they said. Hi, Melissa. Good morning. Thank you for being here. I love you. You're the best. Anyway, so yeah, apparently it had died at 8 weeks. So I had to go have a D&C. My mother called it dusting and a cleaning. And this was at Christmas time. It's like December 13th, I think it was. And so I went into the hospital pregnant, so I thought. Then I came out the same day, apparently not pregnant. And this mind, hi, come in. I imagine you guys like still in bed, just listening. Thank you for being here. I love you too. Both of you. Mm. I imagine you can feel it. Not just on this. Anyway, good morning, Cynthia. Thank you for being here. Um, as usual, my girl. Okay, so went through Christmas. Okay, there was a thought that maybe it was Aunt Donna's pickles because at the parody Christmas party, she always gave us hedgecock pickles. They were mustard pickles that she made that I loved. And I was pregnant and I ate them. Like she gave us two big jars of them every Christmas, the mason jars, the big ones. And I, for some reason, went to town on these things. I just couldn't stop eating them. And it turned out that's when I lost the baby. So our minds always okay. Notice this, whether you feel you got sick or you know you had I don't whatever diarrhea or you something cropped up in your body. Watch your mind. It's always trying to make a story out of it. Oh, I ate too many pickles. Donna's pickles. That's what made me abort this baby. What? What? You can tell how ridiculous that is. But that's back then, I didn't realize the thoughts that came up were not true and not me. There was just a belief in that's going to be it. That I did something wrong and that's why this baby died. So I had no idea this was going to be this. This is crazy. Anyway, so I'm just showing how powerful that mind is. It's always looking back. Oh, because I had diarrhea one time, or I felt really, really sick after eating something at Hanford and Brunswick one year. It was a chicken salad with uh, cranberries, and it was so good. But within no time, it was on the toilet. So there was an immediate story that stuff was bad, and I even told Hanford, but it didn't seem to do. Normally they recall stuff like that, but nobody else had complained about it. Who knows why stuff comes? Our minds think it's got to link it back to something, and thinks it knows. You have no idea, or that mind process, that thought process has no idea. It cannot put a stake in the ground and say, this is why this happened. You don't know because whatever is making all of this happen is perfection. And your mind can fight with it all it wants and say, I don't want this. This shouldn't be. This shouldn't be. But it is. So accept it. Okay, that's what is right now. So let's just watch it. Let's just watch it. Anyway, so this is how powerful our minds are. After Christmas went by, it was like the end of January, which would have been around between the 4 and 5 month part when you're pregnant, where you start feeling the baby kick. Now, mind you, I had a DNC. I'm laying in bed. I'm feeling well, us girls know that that little boop, 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 from the inside, the baby's foot or whatever is moving in there when it first starts, that little butterfly feeling. And I, I'm going, what, what's going on? So I laid on my back in bed. I still remember this to this day. And I said to Peter, feel this. He put his hand on my stomach and could feel it. And I'm thinking, the thoughts were, because I went in, had the DNC, came out the same day, pregnant, not pregnant. So somewhere subconsciously, there was something believed that there was still a baby in there. Wouldn't accept that the baby died. There was no accept. There was resistance, fighting. Didn't want it to be because they were spaced perfectly. Blah blah. The whole storyline was messed with when Lori. So when the baby died. So I was talking to the doctor on the phone. I said, is it possible that there's still a baby in there? And he said, no, Lori, it's not possible. They scraped, whatever they did. So I was so convinced that he had to give me a sonogram to show me that there was nothing in there. Nothing. But this mind was so powerful that it made Peter could even feel it. And that's how powerful our minds are. The stories it tells and believes. If you believe a story about somebody and it's cemented, you've got your pole in the ground saying, this is the way it is, and I know it. You don't know. You do not know. That's a closed mind. It's not open for anything else to get in, for a situation to change. A situation will stay the same as long as you keep believing where the pole is and the flag is in the ground. That, whatever you're believing about someone else or a situation, harshly, staunchly, this is the way it is, they, blah, 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 blah. That's only the surface. Underneath it, everything is happening for you, for your growth. As long as you open up and go, hmm, hmm, maybe I don't have it all right. Maybe there's something else to see here. What I tell everybody is to ask life, what are you here to teach me? What is this situation to teach me about life? If it's painful, it's because love is not painful. There's a song, love hurts. No, it doesn't. Only the love that is conditional. That means you have to be a certain way for me to love you, which is how we all grew up. Conditional. We don't know what real love is because it's conditional. You have to perform a certain way. You have to be a certain way for society, for mom or dad, for the teachers. The teachers have the most powerful role. And if a teacher is in pain, which I see most of them are, it's just a reaction with the no if you find yourself fighting with somebody, you're literally fighting with yourself. You are fighting with yourself because you're feeling the pain inside. Wherever you're fighting, you're the one that's feeling it. And when there's a projected story on what they've done, I'm a victim of them. And then we got to grab allies. We got to talk to people about it so they will be in your court with you fighting. Yeah, how horrible they are, but three fingers are pointing back at you because there is no separation. When you are fighting with somebody else, you're the one hurting, period. You're the one hurting. And I had a beautiful conversation with somebody this week where I think it might have gotten in. I don't know, but I'm just loving the whole situation. Praying that there's openness coming on all sides because everybody's blaming the other. And in the meantime, everyone's suffering and not saying, what part? What is this to teach me? What part have I played in this? What is this to teach me? Show me. Call on the ones that have died. They are there. I watched a video that talks about a year after someone dies. It's called, it's the most powerful video I've seen yet. Well, there's also another near death experience one, Jeff Mara, that just blew this guy freaking. Listen, oh, listen what this guy says.
Oneness. So the wholeness wants nothing because there is nothing that is outside of it. There is nothing separate to it. Everything is within here. The only purpose is to recognize that. The only purpose is recognition, self-recognition of the wholeness that you are.
Why do you think people
self recognition of the wholeness that you are, because any kind of conflict like this, you're believing that you're not being approved of or you're not getting their love. But the little me is the only thing that needs somebody else's love. You don't need anybody else's love. And when you realize that you are that love, they can go and do whatever. You just love them anyway. You can you recognize the innocence, the pain that they're in. They're innocent. Good morning, Margie. We are all looking to get love from someone else, and you will never ever find it in someone else, because that's why the ego has to turn and blame them. You're not you're not approving of me. You're not approving of my life or whatever. And it got to fight for it. Once you realize the love that you always have been, you don't need anybody to prove anything to you, because you're it. The wholeness that that guy said, the wholeness is what you are. There is no void inside. The little me that you believe yourself to be is the one that thinks there's a void, because it's devoid of love. It doesn't know what love is, because love was conditional. It's the little me is made up of the idea that I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy of love. That's the message it gets as a little child. We get the message because when mom says, "Don't do that. Don't. What did you do that for?" All of that, and the teachers too, makes you feel small, and that little me starts building. It starts building. Starts the identities start building. We try to fit into a mold where we can be acceptable for the others. But that's false. That's literally a story of a me that was born and dies. All the while, the love, the wholeness that you are, is sitting here waiting to be recognized. And every time the body is in distress, it's stressed, it's because you're not accepting yourself right now. You're not accepting the situation. You want it to be different. They should have all of that. It's, if you can see that it's not caused by anybody else. Actually, it is. They are the. They look like a perpetrator because they've done something to me, but they are your gift. Use them. Use the idea of them to see the love that you are. If it's painful, you know you're believing a thought that isn't true, because you are not separate from that person. You are the same love, the same consciousness, the same air, the same wind. You're the same thing that they are. It's only the little me in there saying, "Love me, love me." You don't love me, so I'm going to fight you. Love always wins. When that little me can't take anything personally anymore, when you see through it and love it, he or she just built up this idea of a me that needs to go through life fighting. But when you see that that little me isn't even a reality, it's just a thought, it's a concept, it's an idea of a story that isn't true. And the pain that you feel when someone hits you, what it seems like someone hits you, if you could take a breath and say thank you, because that, they are your gift. They are your gift to see you're not a separate. There's no separation. We're not separate. We are the same wholeness. All of us. Each person you hold in contempt or blaming them for hurting you, that there's no growth in blame. Zero growth in blame. You, who you really are, that love, that all encompassing, it doesn't take anything personal. It doesn't it doesn't take offense to anything. There's no offense. There's when you're clear on this, as listening to this message, it's getting in there. If you're sitting here listening to this, there's something in this message that you're going, it feels true. Because the little me is like, all of that. That's the little me. Just love it. Just love him or her. She just, he just needed to make this story build itself in a certain uh, story to go through life as easy as it can. But the thing is, it causes the worst. It's not easy. The easy is realizing that you are the love you're looking for in someone else that you seemingly aren't getting because you're not going to get it. You cannot get love from somebody else because you're already it and so are they. There's no separate. They're not any different than you. Isn't it crazy? This whole, but when you step back to the bigger picture and look down on all the little beings going through life directed by their little me's, how they think they have to, blah, 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 blah. Because that's the society we've created. What? Oh, something just came up on my screen and everything went black, but it came back. This computer is still, God, I need a new computer. Either that or I need it cleaned out. I don't know. Shoot. We went to see a movie last night called, or yesterday afternoon, called Rental Family. Rental Family. Great premise. Brendan Fraser is the lead. It's powerful. Like, yeah, hi Nikki, I just love you too. um, um, it was about like one of the stories in this thing. Why is this going black? Is about he is so the mom is renting a dad because she's raising her daughter without a dad. So in order to get her in this certain school, she needs a dad. So this guy, Brendan, in order to make money, the agency hires him and he takes on this assignment of a dad to this little girl. But he doesn't realize that he really loves this little girl. And the role that he really wanted to play came through. His agent called him the role is a role of a lifetime to change his acting career came up when he's in the midst of this is just one story. It's with the little girl. There was others that were just as powerful. But this little girl one was just he played that part and he was like and his agent was like, what are you hesitating for? This is a life-changing career. Well, he saw that the life-changing was with this little girl and her believing that he was her dad and they were doing fun things and she was opening at first she hated him she because the mom bought him bought the little girl the backpack that she really wanted and gave it to him to give to her on their first meeting so it would be you know and the little girl was like where have you been if you're my dad and he just she threw that backpack you're not gonna buy me or whatever Oh my God. It's so well done. What are you doing? How come you're dressed?
I'm going to Andover.
Andover. Well, I guess you won't be back anytime soon. On a Sunday, we used to drive to Andover because it was a nice drive in Maine. So he still says he's going to Andover. Anyway, this movie is it's subtitles though. It's based in Japan, which is pretty cool, but it's subtitles you gotta read. So anyway, I'd like to see it again. Anyway, yeah, that love is so powerful. He was made a connection with this kid and she back with him. That's the love. If it's fighting, it's between the two characters. And that suffering is for you to finally look inside and say, huh, maybe it's not because of them that I'm suffering. Maybe the bigger picture is trying to show me that I am the love I've always been and just looked for it in the others. Okay, I have another girl who's suffering big time because of her parents being gone. That's another thing. When you realize the love that you are, whether your parents are gone, whoever's gone, gone. They they can't go anywhere. Their bodies drop, but the body's not who they were. When you look at them, when I saw dad, actually I have a picture of my father. My mother got so, don't take a picture. She was so, that's not who he is. I came across it yesterday. Picture of him. Actually, I have pictures of him in the hospital just before he was brought back to the nursing home to die, which was only wasn't even 24 hours later. I have pictures of him in the bed in the hospital where you can see the life that he was. And then the picture when we got back to the nursing home and he was gone. Obvious, so obvious that he was gone. That body, that carcass laying there was not who he was. It used that carcass to teach me a lot about kindness and love. Um, you know, as a little girl, it was we are so innocent as kids, completely innocent, and we don't fight. We don't fight or argue. We don't. There's nothing. We don't need to be right. There's no little me in there that needs to be right because it believes that it's wrong. The reason we have to be right is because there's a subconscious belief in that little me that there's something wrong. Have you ever heard the voice saying, "What is wrong with me?" You ever heard that? It's not who you are. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, the little me might seem like there's a lot wrong with you, wrong with it, but it's not true. Basically, if you just love that little me, just love it, even if it's fighting, even if it's fighting with someone, just love her or him. Take a breath and just love. Think about, get a picture of that little you. I know you can see, you've seen pictures of yourself. Picture that little you. See how precious it is. How precious. Basically, it just started growing, and the more thoughts, the separation, more believing we're separate from life, God, love, whatever you want to call this, when you feel separate from it, the more and more stories come of about it. The more, and that mind holds on. That's another thing. Babies don't have memory. They don't have to hang on. They don't hang on to what someone did to me or what I did to someone, the shame. So there's guilt, shame, regret, blame, all of this shit keeps the alive, keeps you believing you are this person. You are this body and mind called Lori who screws up life or someone else screws it up for me. It's not true. That hurts. It hurts. Anytime that body hurts, you know, or if you're in a store, you're telling somebody what they did to me, that hurts you. That's your temple bell, as Byron Katie taught us. It's your temple bell to go inside and say, wait a minute. So that person, that story is over, right? What happened years ago, or whatever the hell your mind is holding on to that they did to me, I'm a victim of them. That's long gone. How many times have you replayed it or said it to other people to because it needs to gather allies to be on its side. It needs to have the others believing the same thing about how horrible they are. But the whole time you're missing your innocence. As you start seeing your innocence, you see their innocence. Their little me's are just fighting for love too, and they don't believe they're getting it. But you're not gonna get it when you realize you're not ever gonna get love from somebody else. I don't care who. Like Taylor Swift thinks she's getting it. I don't know if she thinks, but the way it looks like she's giving all the credit to Travis for the love that she's feeling. That ain't it. It's not in anything outside of us. Not a mom, not a dad. When you realize the love that you are, mom and dad can be gone, and that love doesn't go anywhere, or a relationship breaks up. There's no contact with this person anymore. When you realize you are that love, it doesn't it doesn't hurt. They can't take anything from you. They can't add to you, and they can't take away from you. Nobody adds love to you by coming into your life, and nobody takes away love by going out of your life because your life, your life. Life is just life. There's no my life. When it's owned, Paul Hederman used to say, money is just money. But when you put a my money to it, ooh, all bets are off. Like the $30,000 that was taken, seemingly taken from me during the scam. If I held on to that was my money and he took it, how could go the rest of my life with guilt and shame and blame and fighting that asshole, he did this to me. I have not ever done that. From the beginning, I did not blame him for taking money from me. It was a direct pointing to go inside and realize, what was this to teach me? What? And so I sat with myself. I mean, you guys all know that I sat here by myself day after day. And then a thought came because I wasn't working. And there were conversations around saying people who don't work. And like, it was my temple bell. That feels awful. People that don't work aren't worthy. They're not worthy. Our worth in life is by how much money we earn. What? Does a bird have to earn its worth? Does a cat have to earn its worth to be loved, to be worthy of being here? Does anything in nature have to earn its worth? Nope, it's just being. but we've forgotten how to be. We are that nature. Oh, Jimmy, thank you for being here. You are one great man. Anyway, ooh, it broke. There's no mistakes. When it's broke, it was meant to be broken, but it was good. What was it? Oh, earning worth. Yeah, I've seen people project onto their cats. He's so lazy. Is a cat supposed to be working or doing something? Go bring the wood in, cat. Oh, jeez, that's crazy. Our freaking minds. You gotta laugh. When you laugh at life, well, okay, first of all, when you take it serious, when you're believing everything that's seemingly happening here, you're so serious. You don't see the reality of life. You don't see the the ridiculousness of it. You don't laugh. You're not light. When mom died and she said it was daisies and chrysanthemums as far as you can see when the veil was lifting for her as she was dying. And I said, "How did it feel?" And she said, "I felt light." Because when you're stuck in your head, it feels heavy, and the blame and the resentment and the bitterness and the anger, it just keeps mm, it keeps the me from realizing the love that you are, the life that you are, the life. You are life itself. And as you realize this, the gratitude, the gratitude is off the charts. And gratitude and love are the same vibration. When you are grateful for you, for that little me, just loving her or him, when you just see the innocence and the love that you are, oh, changes everything. It just gets you to see the light shimmering off everything, the light in the darkness. It's the because like Anita Morgiani, hi Monica, I'm funny. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for being here. And Anita Morgiani, who's died and come. If you want to see the best, well, her story, Dying to Be Me, is phenomenal. Dying to Be Me is the one of the best books I've ever written. It's so well written. But she says it's like you're in a warehouse with a flashlight when you're connected, when you believe you're this little person, this little me that's fighting against life and being so hurt. It's like you're seeing through a flashlight. You're in a warehouse and you only see where it's pointing. As you realize the love that you are, as you embody this love, the veil starts thinning when you start asking, what is this to teach me? What am I not seeing here? Ask whoever has passed on. They're you. You're not separate from them. They didn't go anywhere. You can use them. Use the idea of them to show you. Oh, and as you're shown, the veil starts, the lighter you are, and the more you can laugh at life, and you see clearer. We don't have so many obstacles. Your flashlight gets bigger, so you're seeing more of what's really going on here. where there's no fighting, there's just sharing the love that we are. And anything that little me is holding on to, shame or regret or something's wrong with me or all of that, if it's holding on to that, can you just love her or him? Just love. None of that is, that's only held in the me's idea of life. When you send love to you, as I picture, okay, so I've had issues, but Lori has had issues with her sister with things that have seemingly happened. So when the thoughts of the sister would come up, it would be what she's done to me and how she's hurt me and how in May I decided no more. Whenever a thought like that comes up and that awful feeling inside of what she's done, I've sent love. As I'm holding an image of my heart and hers connected with with currents of love going between the two, that love is held in here. And I start thinking of the gratitude. Then that gratitude and love are the same feeling. The gratitude for what she's been in my life. Because as our minds start focusing on what shouldn't have been, more of that comes. More of that just keeps compounding on itself. But when you start saying no, thinking of something you're grateful for about this person. And it might be a stretch, especially if there's a flag in the ground of what they've done to me. And you have allies, you brought in other people that need to think the same way. Because they're gonna, as your mind changes towards that person, you start feeling, because as you're entertaining love for them, that love is residing in your body. So it's a benefit all the way around. So as you benefit, as this love starts growing, the stories start dropping, and you see the innocence of you, that little me, of why it needed to start believing it needed to be worthy of love. Hi, good morning. You, as it starts being worthy, realizing it's not even worthy. We're already it. Worthiness is not even a part of your reality. It's not worth it or not worth it, because and as you find yourself the wholeness of you, you're not judging. Your mind doesn't judge others whether they're worthy or not, because we're all the same thing. We are all love personified. Woo! Never said that one before. Love personified. And it's only you that's hurting you. The other people are the others. It's seeming like the others, but as you are holding contempt and hatred for them, that's what you're feeling. When you find the love for them, then it's felt in this body. Is this making sense? God, it's so clear for me. It's proven that May was when I refused to blame someone else for my pain and suffering. Excuse me. So, the love was felt, ooh, it Challenger just went by. Squirrel just went by. I love the Challengers. Anyway, yeah, that love, it's all encompassing. It's the answer to everything. Actually, I actually posted that. I I found it in my my. Make sure that's loosely held. When I say my, it's very loosely held. Um, Love is the solution to everything. That's it. It is the solution to everything. And it's not the love that we are taught love is. That's what I was going to say in the very beginning. I started to say, as a little girl, Lori was very loving. And it was thought of by the others that it was naive. Openly loving is naive and excited about life. It's not. It's thought of as too soft or too forgiving or too whatever. It's the hardness, we are taught that someone who's hard and fighting and taking the life by the balls is what's favored in life, but that's not reality. In reality, that is weakness. The pure power is love. That is what's powerful, not the hard. That's not powerful. That is when you're at your weakest, is when you're blaming and fighting with someone else. That's when you're at your weakest. Your strongest is when you love unconditionally, knowing that they're not doing anything to you. They aren't doing anything to you. Ask, show me, why am I believing they're doing this to me? Because you're never going to find an answer for why they seemingly are doing this to you. You basically come to the fact that I am love itself and nothing is happening out of order here. Everything is exactly the way it's meant to be for me, not to me, for my awakening. If I'm open to awakening. If you're here to the end of this video, you obviously are looking to for some awakening, for some relief from the suffering that's created by you, by you, through you, for you. It's by you, for you, through you. And when you can love that one that's seemingly doing all that, because who you really are isn't doing a damn thing. You're being done. You literally are being done. This body and mind does. There's nobody directing inside here, these hands doing this or these words coming out. There's no little me inside that's having these words come out, or you were meant to see this. Obviously, you're talking to you right now through this body. Where'd the squirrel go? There was not really a squirrel. It was the car. The Lori is very distracted easily, and there was a Challenger, an orange Challenger that went by, and I love that car. And it just, oh God, I guess it's done. I guess we're gonna be done early because these guys are working on the soffits. They're filling their, yeah, our building is being worked on. Oh, and that plant that I've been talking about, that leaf. Oh, Jesus, the leaves are coming off this one. That leaf, is all out now. There it is. Look how beautiful. It's a heart. I don't know if you see it. It's a heart. Yeah. Each Cynthia got me to see that all of those leaves are hearts. So now there's another little leaf coming up alongside the stem, the stem, the branch. I don't know what to call it. Along the stem of the leaf. There's another one rolled up inside. And that's how it's growing. It's so cool to watch. And it's a metaphor for life. That's how we're growing. Not being forced, just listening. I don't think you can listen anymore because that's pretty loud. I'm just talking loud. Anyway, yeah, the leaf came out on its own. No forcing. No forcing. Don't force yourself. Just let this message sink in. Entertaining it. That's all I ask. Just entertain it and see what happens. I love you because you're me. You are. The essence of you is what I am. We can't be separate. So anyone that's passed on in your life, they can't be separate from you. Mwah. Have a great week. Oh. Bye.